What is up? My Cachaloroma is in the internet. In today's review, I want to review something made by Lifebrick and Abnormal, which is of course their collab on Daredevil. One being from the red suit from season 2, and the other one being the black suit from season 3. And of course, just to give you a little bit of backstory, I found these Lego figures, I found out about these Lego figures about half a year ago to maybe 8 months ago, and immediately once I saw these, I fell in love. I was a huge fan of the black suit from season 3, and I felt like I had to get these. However, when I found out about the pre-order, it was unfortunately a little too late. I didn't get there in time, and I missed the pre-order, and so my best option to find these was to look in the aftermarket. And almost a few months later, almost a year later, last month, I finally found them, and without thinking, I just purchased them. I knew I had to get them, and I got them. However, I did do a little bit of an oopsie daisy, and you may not notice it right now, you may not, but just in case, I will point it out later on in today's video. But without further ado, I want to review these figures. Now, starting off the red suit, I gotta say that I really like it. Now, the red suit is not my favorite Daredevil suit. This one in particular definitely comes close. I would say that it's number 2, or actually technically number 3, because I really like the color scheme on the yellow suit, but the one from She-Hulk. But of course, this one is definitely third on my favorite Daredevil list. Now, obviously, the cowl piece is custom. I guess you could. I'm not entirely sure if it's custom molded. There are some 3D lines in inside the helmet that makes me think it could be 3D printed, and I'm not entirely sure if it's 3D printed with a durable material. However, it feels durable. I'm definitely not testing the limits of it because I don't want to break it, but it definitely feels solid. And I have accidentally dropped it a few times on its horns, and the horns seem like they're fine. It doesn't seem like there's any chipping or anything. But yeah, this is a custom piece, and along with that custom piece, there's also these batons, which are magnetic. Let me just get the video to focus up on these. They are magnetic, so you could attach them like that, which I think is really cool. It's always nice to have that option where you could attach them, and just like Daredevil did in the show. And yeah, so those are it for the custom pieces. Now here's the figure itself, and I don't really like the eyes. They're a bit of a bluish gray, which they shouldn't be. I think Matt's eyes were green, or maybe blue, or maybe hazel. I don't really recall what his eye colors were, but they definitely weren't a bluish gray. But I feel like they maybe should have stuck to traditional Lego eyes and just have made it black, as all Lego eyes are black. So I feel like this one definitely should have tried to stick to that. But along with this head, it also comes with an alternate head, which is a bit more bloodied, kind of like he's been in a fight, which I think it's nice that they included this, But yeah, this figure isn't too bad. Of course, it has 360-degree pinning all around. That includes the legs. The printing just continues all around. And I think it's really cool, I really hope Lego one day gets to that point where they do 360-degree pinning. I know that it's not really... most of the Lego community doesn't like customs because it doesn't really look close to Lego because of the 360 printing, but I personally don't mind it. I feel like the more detail, the better. It's great. It's always great to have more detail. But yeah, that's it for this Daredevil figure. So let's just move on to the black one. The next figure, which of course is the black suit, Daredevil's black suit from season 3. Now, before we get started with this review, I'm just gonna give you guys a few seconds to point down in the comment section below what you think is wrong with this figure. Have you pointed it out yet? Well, too bad. You don't have any more time. So basically, what is wrong with this figure is the torso. It is not the original torso that this figure came with. I will tell you where this torso came from in a little bit, but first let me get into my story. So when I first got this figure, I was super excited. However, I noticed that the hands that it came with were not the original hands that were shown in the image. As you can see right here, the original hands that were supposed to be included with this figure... was black hands with a flesh tip. However, when it came down to when they actually released the figure, the black hands with the flesh tip were nowhere to be found. And so I was kind of disappointed with that. And so what I decided to do was I decided to go through a third-party vendor and see if maybe I could get those hands And I did find them, and so I ordered them. However, what I did not realize at the time was that those hands are custom molded. They make them themselves. They are not original Lego hands. And so when I got them, I noticed that they were just a little bit too big. However, I wanted to go through with making the change to the hands, as I wanted it to be accurate. And so when I got it, I tried to put it on, and it was on. However, the left hand was a little loose fitting. The bandage just wiggled around a little bit too much, and that bothered me some. So I decided to try and push it in as much as I could, and I realized it wasn't budging. So what I decided to do was I decided to pop off the arm, try and push it in as much as I can, which, by the way, didn't work. And so I decided to pop on the arm back on, and that's when I realized that the original arm was now loose. Now, here is the original arm that I came with, and this original arm no longer fits perfectly in the socket of the original torso. It's a little too loose fitting. So I started freaking out, and I decided to pop on a regular black arm, and that worked for a little bit. However, as I kept on moving it a little more and more in the torso, it felt a little, started feeling a little loose. And since it felt a little loose, I figured, you know what, might as well switch back to the original arm. So I switched back to the original arm. I noticed that was even more loose than I originally felt it, and so I started freaking out. I started flip-flopping between arms, which I'm pretty sure may have made it even more loose, and I started freaking out. I seriously did not know what to do. I had just ruined a very rare and expensive figure, and I was freaking out. I was just about to admit defeat, leave the figure as is, and just don't touch it anymore. But that's when I went to Target and I found a Lego Fast and Furious Dodge Charger. So I decided to buy that set. I was already kind of contemplating on buying that, so I decided to buy it anyways. And then I decided to do a little bit of a test. And rather than using the original arms that came with the original torso, because I wasn't about to make that same mistake again, I decided to find I guess you could say the tightest black arms that I could find, pop it onto this torso, and it worked. The arms were tight. And so what I then decided to do was take the legs from the original figure, the head, the bandana, and the bandages. And I decided to put it all together, and luckily it worked. And I gotta say that this torso just fits more well, if that makes sense. It fits better with the actual figure. The original torso that it came with, I feel like it looks more like spandex than anything, which isn't supposed to be the case. Let me see if I can get it to focus. This looks more like spandex, which in the season 3 black suit, it was supposed to be more of a loose fitting shirt than anything, and instead it looked more like spandex. This original Lego torso looked more like spandex, and now taking a look at this one, I feel like it looks more like just a regular shirt, which is what it was supposed to be. However, this figure does not have the black, I guess you could, sorry, not the black, the red shirt that goes underneath the black shirt. And I've kind of contemplated painting on the red. However, I am not going to do that. I am not touching this figure anymore. I'm just going to leave it as is and be happy with the result that I got. I seriously don't want to ruin this figure any more than I already have. However, this shirt just doesn't bother me at all. This looks more like the fight from the church scene. Where he's fighting Bullseye in his Daredevil suit, which I really don't mind, as long as I have something that's both accurate but also fixed. It's good, basically. But yeah, I also do quickly want to mention, obviously, the custom pieces. I am just, it's very bad luck to have this figure with me because I just keep on dropping it, and I'm so scared that I'm going to ruin this figure. Anyways, this is also custom molded, I guess you could say, or I'm not sure if it's custom 3D printed with durable 3D printed parts, but it has some lines in there. I'm not sure if you could see. It has some 3D printed lines. However, the actual mask itself feels kind of durable. I'm not sure if maybe they just decided to seal it off to give it that sort of durable feel. However, this mask is definitely durable. Oh, and also, before I forget to mention, the bandages, they are also custom molded. And yeah, these, I'm not going to pop them off. Again, I don't want to be an idiot and ruin this figure, but this is basically how the bandages look. And I also do want to I also do want to give you a quick look at how the legs look. I definitely like how they added some boot designs. They definitely could have just gotten lazy and given us dual molded legs and called it a day. But the fact that they decided to print on a belt and then the boots and everything, I definitely like, just the look of that. I definitely like how it looks. So, I'm happy with this figure. I'm happy with the red figure. So let's just close off this video and just give my final thoughts on these two figures. So here are my final thoughts on these two figures. They're great. They're amazing. I really love them. Yeah, I'm really glad I have these, They're really cool figures, definitely highly detailed, and if you manage not to mess up any of them, they're definitely worth, if you're really big into collecting custom figures, custom Lego figures, these are definitely something that you should get for your collection. So yeah, this is going to be the end of today's video. Hopefully you all liked it. Hopefully it was entertaining. Definitely subscribe if you're new here. Leave a like, leave a comment, and just tell me how I did. So I'll catch you all in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to be a Coachella Romeo.